Today we're gonna try some sweets from Chiapas because it's gonna be my birthday tomorrow. ¿Esto tiene algo adentro?
Sí, es de manjar.
¿Este es como un dulce de leche?
Es dulce de leche.
Oh, veo, este tiene pasitas.
Tiene pasito.
Y este no.
Natural. Pero esto no se pone de cacahuate.
Bueno, probamos.
Es el rollo de guayaba y chile.
Este es guayaba y chile. ¿Y el de atrás?
Natural.
Vamos a probar. ¿Muy picante?
El que le gusta picante, pues no. El que no le gusta, pues...
Voy a probar picante. Hay que tener valor. Ok. Creo que el resto lo he probado. These are like little donuts. It's a mixture in between cake donut and dough donut. And these sweets made of egg yolk we tried the last festival. If you're new to me, hi, my name is Karen, and my daughters and I have been traveling full time for the past 5 years, a little bit more, and making Mexico our home base for the past 2. Or more specifically, San Cristobal de las Casas. And fit check. Fit check, because I have teens. I'm only with one daughter today. The other one stayed home. I'm more of a bread person, even though I'm not supposed to eat it. I'm actually not supposed to eat anything with bread, with flour. But it's my birthday, so we're gonna use this opportunity to get some sweets. And I want to take you guys with me. So first I want to show you like the ones that are like common in the region. I don't want to forget what each one of them is. We are going to test them as we go. Except the cakes. We're taking that home for my birthday. So they call it turrón. We call it merengue. I guess in English it's the same word, meringue. I don't know what the powder on top is. I have to say I'm very surprised. It's thoroughly dry. Usually meringues, when the climate is kind of humid, they get really chewy. This one is super crispy. I personally recommend eating this with ice cream, if you can eat ice cream. And fresh strawberries, like a sandwich. This one is dulce de leche. I approve. We have those in Venezuela. It's basically like a hard dulce de leche. And dulce de leche is milk and sugar cooked until it's a little bit caramelized. And please don't judge my cleanliness. This one is peanut butter. And tastes like dried peanut butter. I don't think it has anything else besides peanut butter and maybe sugar. It actually tastes kind of healthy. These are actually the ones I was the most curious about, because this one, he said, is guava and chile, and the other one is lemon. Like they take the stuff from inside the lemon. Okay, let's try this one first. That is really good. Definitely recommend that you eat that one with some water around. It is spicy, so if you're not used to spice, but it's really good. So you do taste the guava, but I feel like the predominant flavor is probably the chile. Last but not least, I'm so excited about this. I should probably have water for this too, because I wonder if it's super sour. And I probably was too excited because it was not what I expected it. You know, we watch TV and expect a flavor, and I don't know what I'm tasting.
You don't get the same thing in person.
It doesn't taste like coconut or lime. Might just have been sitting there for a while. I don't know. I hope I can find it somewhere else so we can actually taste it. Cab driver did tell me to not go there because things are not as fresh, and he recommended a better one that somebody else had recommended on my comments, so we'll go to that one too. So here, I don't think there's an exact translation for the word bakery. Here they have panaderia and pasteleria. So panaderia is only bread or croissants or like danishes or things like that, and pasteleria is cake related. So today I'm taking you to buy pan coleto. I'm gonna show you 3 bakeries that sell it, and this one has been around since 1965, I believe, so I thought we had to come here. But I'll show you my favorite Now this will be the only panaderia that I'm taking you to, because I usually take you to the ones that sell the croissants and French items. You cannot eat pancoleta without coffee, so we're gonna hold on to those. This one is my favorite because most of the things are super fresh and they also have croissants. But this one they have everywhere, and it's a local chain. And we always get this specific pastelito that has ham in it. I think it's one of two that have ham in it, but my daughter loves it. The streets of San Cristobal are just magical. I mean, there's no way around it. Every time I walk around, I'm in awe, and it's been more than 2 years. So in that corner is the next bakery. No, I was lying. Totally lying. It's the other block. I should have Googled it, but here we go. Let's go to the right place now. Okay, so that's where we're going. I don't know if it's open with that. All the construction in the front of it, but let's ask. Bueno, ¿están abiertos? Okay. Oh wow, tienen bastante. Sometimes I come in and it's fairly empty. I'm guessing they have a really fast turnaround on their product, which is a great thing, especially in a small town. So I've never not gotten something fresh here. Chimbo. It is too difficult to decide. I still have like 10 other things I would get. Yo creo que una y una. Now, if I had to pick a pasteleria that was most popular, I would probably say this one. Most people mention this one, and it has a sitting area. Fun fact, that's where my first date in Mexico was. No, it wasn't during the day. We had coffee like at 9 p.m. And it was a really beautiful and sweet date. Long time ago. Now, welcome to Tani Perla. And this vibe that you feel is what most of the restaurants in San Cristobal de las Casas feel like. It's a very peaceful, accepting, loving vibe. With the sort of organic decor, they'll usually mix organic material with more modern aspects, and maybe a little bit of a Tulum flair, I find. But also maintaining their cultural aspects. So we're taking a breakfast break. Because walking around San Chris is no joke. Because I make it look like everything is really, really close, and essentially it is, but it's still like, you know, we've already been walking for like an hour and a half. The friend that I went on my last trip with, if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. She always recommends this restaurant, and she's lived here her whole life, so I'm gonna assume she knows what she's talking about. Okay, so while we wait for our food, let me show you this. This is the place that we got the pan coleto from. Oh, 1968. I was wrong. Coleto is what they call things from Chiapas. So these are basically all the same thing, just in different shapes. And it's like a really dry bread with just slight sweetness. That's why they're so great to like dip in coffee, because they're also quite porous inside, so it absorbs the coffee really nicely. You cannot come to Chiapas and not have café con pan coleto or con pan dulce. Now these are a little different because they're stuffed with cheese or jam, and the bread has a different texture. It's not as dry as the other one. It's a little bit more chewy. And then we have cookies, also dry. In my opinion, they're probably all meant to be dipped in the coffee, because it's a crumbly dry cookie. So it's not even like a sugar cookie, because a sugar cookie you have the buttery texture. These are just dry and crumbly. Delicious flavor, but goes perfect dipped in coffee. Another reason that I wanted to come here specifically is because they make their own conchas and donuts. Chocolate donut and the famous concha. If you never had a concha before, it's pretty much like a sweet bread, nice and fluffy, with a cookie type of thing on top. The cookie is the one that gives it the little ridges. The bread is just slightly sweet, but the cookie on top has a little bit of more sugar in it. And aside from breakfast, we came here for some coffee, because you can't have all these things without coffee. Iced coffee usually looks like ice cream here for some reason. Oh my god, it's so hot. Thank you, Mom, for my coffee today. Love you. Redo that in Spanish. Because my mom doesn't speak English. Gracias, Mami, por mi café de hoy. I love you. Time to try this. Or should I try the concha first? Let's try the concha first. Utterly delicious. It's like the perfect balance between sweetness. And then I love the combination of the textures because the bread, when it's fresh, the bread is nice and soft and so gentle on the palate. And then the crunchies on top, I like this delicious texture. Now that one's good in coffee too, but you can also eat it by itself. Okay, donut time! First of all, it is so fluffy. Break your break to say that the service here is fantastic. Okay, let's try it. I had to put the phone down to relish on the moment. But let me tell you, first let me explain that anytime you order anything that is chocolate here, you will not get the kind of chocolate that you get in the US or in Europe, because most of the time it has a higher cacao concentration. So it tastes like cacao and they call it cacao. So that's a very important thing to know before you order anything that is chocolate. So the covering is a bitter chocolate, not too bitter, perfectly balanced. And then the dough, again, it's not like a US dough. It's, see the pores? So it's a little bit more porous. It is chewy though, it's not really dry. And it tastes freshly fried. It is delicious. Just don't expect it to taste like Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that. Now that I have my coffee, I want to try these. So I just cut off a little piece. I wanted to show you the inside. To me, they almost look like cookies. But perfect for dipping. Now we're gonna do the cookie. And our breakfast arrived while I was recording this. Gracias. Needed some real food. So the cookie's a little bit chewy. It's not completely dry. I'm guessing they're really fresh. Last but not least, it's so interesting because even though it has fruit inside, it's barely sweet. Same with the cookie. It tastes like nuts a little, but barely any sugar. If you've never had chilaquiles before, it's tortilla, and then you get to choose whether you want a red sauce or a green sauce over it. The green sauce is usually spicier. And then we'll get the cream and the cheese. See the cream and the cheese? Then the protein is usually optional. And I usually request without cream and cheese, but too busy filming and I forgot. This is my favorite street, by the way. I think it's the prettiest. She loves crocheting, so pit stop. Mira los blancos están arriba. I don't think this store has a name. It's on the corner of Cristobal Colón and Guadalupe. But they're really nice, so we come here all the time. Now we're headed down the end door. You see the church at the end? That's our next stop. Like a 3D cherry or like a 2D cherry? This next pasteleria was highly recommended, and I don't know if it's a chain, but I definitely have seen a second one in another neighborhood. But I was told they would have cakes in all sizes, and they didn't have any small ones. So it was a lot bigger than I expected, and I stared at it for a long time. I just didn't catch it on camera before deciding. This is choco flan. It's flan with chocolate cake underneath. And this is just flan decorated. ¿Compro ese tamaño? Bueno, me voy a llevar ese, por favor. Sí, es que está grande, solo somos 3, pero... Bueno, sí. Ah, ok. Bueno, sí, voy a llevar ese, por favor. ¿Eso? Sí, el choco flan. Okay, I bought a huge cake, but I have to try it. And they have cookies and cupcakes. We have one more stop. The Bougainvillea marks the spot. I think that's where they told me to go. Oof. ¿Qué sabor es eso? Ay, perdón.
Es chimbo. Es de chocolate, limón, higo, galletas, zarzamora y vainilla.
Deme uno de higo, uno de chimbo. ¿Y este es el de zarzamora?
¿Sí?
Ok. Ay, qué rico. Ok. Y uno de chocolate. Perfecto. I think I got the wrong place. Because although they did have a few sweets, they barely had any. Yeah, the 2 people told me that it was a place that had a bunch of sweets from here. They mostly had ice cream. So I'm thinking there's another place farther down the street. And I got the wrong address. Yep, do you see the sign? I can't point because I have no hands. But do you see that little sign that's swaying in the wind? I am very sad to say that it looks closed. But since we're here, let's walk to it. So that's the sign I was looking for, and I guess they moved across the street. Here. What is that? That looks so good. Uno de este. Este es el chimbo.
Sí.
Un chimbo, por favor. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Parchita? I mean, ¿maracuyá? ¿Cómo? Bueno, me da uno de ese también, por favor. I love these, but I've already had them. But it's like a wafery sweet dough cruncher. ¿Qué tú quieres, mi amor? ¿Uno de esos? Uno de este, please, por favor. ¿Quién me da uno de estos chiquitos? Y uno de este. There's 80 for everything. We are done. I have no more hands, so we're going home to try some things. So I didn't mean to buy this, but I have a bad habit, or I don't know, like when I go into a store, especially when it's a tiny store, I feel really bad not buying something after going in and asking. Like, I feel rude. So I bought ice cream. Now the cool thing is that they're local flavors, because this one, the yellow one, is chimbo. Chimbo is like a cake soaked in simple syrup. And this one is mixed with ice cream. My dad would love that. ¿Verdad, mami? A papi le encantaría. Son trocitos de torta mezclado con helado de mantequilla. Yeah, and vanilla ice cream here in Mexico is usually yellow. I'm not sure why. This is from Vid. Vid? Wow, she did a really good job packaging it. I'm very impressed with the packaging. Okay, this is from Vid, and this one is from the Dulceria, the last one that we went to. And I got chimbo from both. So, like I said, chimbo is like a cake soaked in simple syrup. But the simple syrup, see, you can tell is made with panela. Just in case you don't know what panela is this, which is like a brown sugar. Okay, this is the chimbo from the Dulceria. You can tell it's been like drenched in the syrup, and the texture, it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it, like really thick. This the texture of this is more like cake. The texture of this, I feel like it's no longer like cake. It's kind of like spongy, like harder. Let's see flavor-wise. Okay, I think in my mind I thought, oh, I'm gonna try both and tell you which one I like more. But the truth is, they're nothing alike. The first one, the one that has like, that looks like it's been sitting in the sugar, tastes like a sweet, I don't know, like a sweet cake, I guess. It's really hard to explain. It tastes like the sugar within it has crystallized, so it's almost crunchy. And the flavor, it tastes like syrup. The second one, the one in the little cup, I want to say it has rum in it or liquor of some sort. This actually reminds me of back home. Cuban rum cake is drenched in simple syrup with rum. It just reminds me of that. I find this more appealing because it's not as overwhelming in sweetness as the other one. The other one is just plain sugar. This one, the alcohol cuts it a little bit. I wish I would have asked if it actually has alcohol. I'm kind of curious. Now that I've tried already and I love it. I usually eat it with cream cheese because it's fruit that has been cooked in syrup. So it's kind of like how you make jam, except jam, you smush the fruit. This, you just let the whole chunk sit in the syrup. And this happens to be pumpkin, and it is delicious. But they do it with fig, they do it with peaches, they do it with a bunch of things. I usually will get it when it's lighter color though, because it's a little bit less sweet, and I don't like when the sugar starts crystallizing. So when you go buy it, just pay attention to the texture. If you like it crunchy, then you'll see that the crystals, you see how the crystals start to form in the edge of this? So if you like the crunchies, make sure when you buy this, it has the same texture. I find this so curious and I don't really know how to eat it. I'm gonna guess I bite it, so let's bite it. Ah. I think you bite it. Okay, maybe I need a knife. It's like hard, like. Okay, listen, I'm gonna give up. I'm trying a lot for you, so I don't really know how to eat this. I'm gonna have to look it up and figure it out. I don't really even know what it is. He called it granada. I thought granada was a pomegranate. Visually, to me, it looks like a passion fruit. But I don't know what's inside. Oh, my daughter got it open. It does look like a passion fruit. Is it bad? Yeah, there's a chance that's mold. I don't really know. I don't know if I want to take my chances. Like I said, my birthday's tomorrow, so I don't want to be sick. So this one I've had before. It's custard inside a sort of croissant dough. I don't eat them a lot, but my daughter says that the best ones are the ones with the bees around them that they sell in Centro. This one crumbled. I don't know if you saw it at the bakery. It's supposed to be round. It's like a deep fried dough, and that's exactly what it tastes like. I would compare it to like elephant ears or something like that. Except they're really thin and wafery. Now this, so merengue here, or meringue here, they call it turrón. So these are little rolls filled with turrón. The outside tastes kind of like a fried dough. Kind of like this, like the other one I showed you. Like this one. The flavor is very similar. So it tastes like a fried dough. And then the inside has crystallized. So it's no longer smooth and gooey. So these cookies, I'm not a cookie person, but I saw a local person suggest these from Vid specifically. So these are from Vid. So I figured I had to taste them. I tasted this one too, and I would say both of them. They're the closest thing to a sugar cookie that I've tried here. So if you like sugar cookies, there I go. This one has raspberries, and the other one has peach. Very sweet though. Okay, I saved my favorite stuff for last. This one is fruit salad. I'm guessing with condensed milk. And then it has pecans on top. This one is arroz con leche. This one is a custard. And this one is Jello. So fun fact, and I don't know if they do it here too, but in Venezuela, every birthday you'll have a cake and you'll have gelatin, like a round, pretty decorated gelatin. So that's why, I don't know if you noticed that they decorate their flan and things here. I think it's because of that. Like you can use it for a celebration without having to get specifically cake. But I used to love eating the cake with the gelatin at the same time. Okay, Jello. Okay, it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. You know what it reminds me of? Jello jigglers. Have you ever heard of that? Tells you my age. I am turning 45 on my birthday. So yeah, Jello jigglers are, I don't know, a Bill Cosby commercial from the 80s or 90s? I don't remember. Tastes perfumey. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay, this is the custard. Also tastes perfumey. Fruit salad. The white stuff that the fruit was in was kind of fluffy, so it took me a while to figure out what it was. Surprised to say that it was my favorite of the 4 so far. My daughter said it tasted like mayo. So the white stuff is not condensed milk. I don't really know what it is, but the pecans are throughout the body. And most of the fruit tastes like apple, though I think I see some grapes. It is very interesting, but also good. Okay, last one, arroz con leche. So one thing I've noticed about the arroz con leche here is that they grind the rice, so it doesn't have the same body that I'm used to. Like I'm used to you actually having the texture of the rice in your mouth. This feels like crumbly. The flavor is good, but it's also a little bit perfumey. I wonder what they put in it. Maybe it's the kind of cinnamon. And last but not least, now this one I've tasted before, and because I'm kind of sugared out, I'm not gonna taste it for you guys. But so the middle and the top is jam, and then it's just a very simple vanilla cake. Sometimes simple is the best call. This one, so we call this un brazo gitano, because if you notice the cake goes around in a circle, so it's like a thin layer of cake that has been rolled up. I don't really know what they call it here, but it has cherries in the middle and it's covered in a chocolate fudgy frosting. This is what I was looking forward to the most. Okay, in the middle is a mixture of, because I got a strawberry, so it's not only cherry, but yum. And it's chocolatey. So I take back what I said earlier when I was eating the donut. I guess once in a while, you can have a cake that tastes chocolate. And this is my birthday cake for tomorrow. Flan on top, chocolate cake at the bottom. I'll let you know how it is. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.